In this video, I'm going to talk about a situation that I went through and get your feedback in the comments about whether or not I acted ethically. Many HVAC companies don't utilize the power of artificial intelligence, or know that they can. If you're like me, you may harbor a small and unfounded fear of AI thanks to the Terminator and the Matrix. Free to Grow is a service that finds AI voice solutions for home service companies. AI can answer the phone overnight or during high volume situations, all while learning how to be better with each call. This means more satisfied customers, less employee turnover, and a higher earning potential. AI is here now. Go to free-to-grow.com or visit the description of this video to learn more about how this service can help your HVAC company. Several years ago, I was using a service called Home Advisor. Many of you know this service. It's a service that offers contractors leads for service calls, for installs in various projects, for different trades. I was just getting service call leads. The install leads cost much more than service calls. In fact, they're about 10 times more in some cases. So I didn't really go after those. And from what I hear, there are a lot of tire kicker type people that were just kind of feeling out the market and see how much it would cost. And there wasn't a whole lot of success with it. Now, if you had success with it, put it in the comments down below. I actually had a lot of success with Home Advisor as service call lead provider. I got a lot of business out of it. In fact, I got a lot of service calls that turned into installs as well. So I earned quite a bit of money off of it. And they added some new stipulations. I no longer use it, obviously, but people out there, they have a less favorable opinion of it because they started charging like a monthly fee or yearly fee, I forget, but it was quite substantial. A lot of people started moving away from it. For those of you who have been around for a while, before it was Home Advisor, it was Service Magic. A lot of guys use that as well. So that's neither here nor there. That's what brought me to this particular house about 10 minutes from where I live. It was a call to check out an Amana split system. Now this Amana split system was high efficiency. 15 SEER back then was high efficiency. It had a nice 95-96% furnace with condenser and coil, so a really nice setup. But when I got there, there was a lot of issues with it because the duct system was horrible. It was running a crawl space, there was flex laying on the ground, there was some large flexes out there because you had to have a rather large flex for a return duct. And if you have like a 16 or 18 inch flex, and I forget which one it was, and it's R8 insulation, it gets quite large. You add a few inches for the insulation and your 18-inch duct is over 20 inches, more like 23, 24 inches with all that poofiness. So it's hard to fit it anywhere, especially if you have a low crawl space. This place was an old house built 100 years back at least, and the crawl space was really small. So a lot of the flex was laying on the ground, a lot of the stuff was run poorly. It was a zone system which wasn't functioning properly. It had a bypass damper which wasn't set up correctly. It had a lot of issues. The lady who owned the home, who called me out through the Home Advisor program, she had reached the end of her rope. The previous company was a large chain company, a national company, and they had come in there and knocked it out, charged a lot of money, put in a high efficiency system, and then completely robbed it of all its efficiency by installing awful ductwork in an awful zone system. It wasn't zoned properly. That means X area wasn't staying the right temperature. It was set up improperly. The whole thing was a big mess. Now they called me in there as sort of a second opinion, so I gave them my second opinion. I went bit by bit, and I went through the entire system, and I told her where the things were wrong. There comes a question out of that, because now you're doing the right thing by saying what was going on with the system, but also you try not to throw other companies under the bus. It's a thin line to walk because you have to do the right thing, but you don't want to intentionally, because they're your competition, so to speak, you don't want to do anything extra just because they're your competition. That's the line you have to walk. But I told her and I listed all the things that I thought were wrong, and she ended up going back to that national chain and using my list, itemizing everything that was wrong with it from A down to Z, plus I'm sure there was no permit on this job because it couldn't have been. I don't even remember us discussing the permitting part of it. Now that I think about it, it couldn't have been inspected because ductwork has to be 4 inches off the crawl space floor, and this was on the ground itself, laying in water at some points because of pooling water during rain. So it definitely wasn't passing code. So I don't recall what we did about that particular subject, but I listed all the things that weren't up to code, all the things that weren't functional and not set up properly, and it was just a huge, huge, huge mess. She gave the information to that company, and they ended up coming out and fixing all of that stuff, going through it line by line. There was a new media filter on the unit. There was new ductwork, some rectangular duct, so it would stay farther off the ground. And what cost them, I'm sure, thousands and thousands of dollars to do, because it was a pretty big system, and all down my list. When they gave her the sheet, when they were finished, it had, according to Town and Country Air, which was my company at the time, specs, this is what we did. So it made me feel odd, like I'd betrayed the trade for some reason, because I had said that about another company. Now, I didn't say anything about them that wasn't true, in my opinion, going down through every bit of that list. But I still felt bad, because you have that feeling like snitches get stitches. You're going to go tell the cops about something bad going on. That's what it felt like to me. I did not like that. And I don't know if I'd want to even do that again, but I know it was the right thing to do. And that's the weird part about it. I know it was the right thing to do, but I still don't feel very good about it. Now, the lady, we fine-tuned the system over time, and it was much better after than before. It was still a zone system. It was set up much better. I believe I still had to go in and set up some of the zoning, and I think I had to replace the zone board at some point. It was a Honeywell zone board. I had to replace it with whatever I was using at the time, which I think was EcoJ, and I replaced that, and there was just a few odds and ends. Some things were not the company's fault. It was like a failure in the zone board, but it worked better afterwards, and that was the point. What do you guys think of that situation? What would you do in that situation? Would you do something differently? Do you feel like me, that you feel odd doing something like that? I want to know in the comments. This is a big issue right here, because this goes to the heart of ethics in the trade. What was wrong and right about this situation? How would you handle it? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. God bless each and every one of you.
Save 8% off your order at TruTechTools.com by using the Shop Talk discount code.